Hello and welcome to LifeSpring Counseling Services' first ever Meet Your Match. A lot of people on our team are super big fans of reality TV shows like Love is Blind, where you get to see people do hours of speed dating. And so we thought that we would do something similar where we would help you meet your match. So if ever you've gone and you've tried finding a therapist, you know that finding a therapist who is a really good fit for you, that's really the key. We want someone that you feel comfortable with. You want to find somebody who you feel like you jive with, personalities match, their style matches. But we know that that can take up a lot of time. Sometimes that means consultation calls or maybe trying out different therapists. And so we wanted to save you some time by giving you a really fun opportunity to meet some of the therapists here at LifeSpring. So today we have with us Cam Davis, Anlyn Best, and Chelsea Cowden. And I am prepared here with a few different questions for them. They're all going to get the same question each round, and none of them have seen any of the questions. So they're going to have a lot of fun today, nervous fun because they have no idea what questions we're going to be asking. But just kind of pay attention to their answers and just get a feel of each of them. So we are going to get started. So firstly, let's kind of find out how are they feeling about today. How are all of you feeling?
Great.
Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Yeah, great. I feel great.
All right. So our first question, Cam, you're going to start us off. Cam, what is the reason you decided to become a counselor?
I think I love helping people. I think a lot of people in the field talk about being the person who, even as a kid, everyone would come to them in school, and you somehow always become like the fly on the wall or the person that people go to. And I loved being in that position. As I read more books about kind of psychology and being interested in that part of how people think and connect with each other, that's something that I got really excited about.
Awesome. Thanks, Cam. Anlyn, you're up. What made you decide to be a counselor?
Well, I think I decided before I even knew when I was a very little girl because I was always comfortable reaching out to people who seemed to need some type of assistance. And then there were people who came to me, even at a young age, to let me know what was going on and reach out for help or just allowed me to give a comfort to them. And as the time went on, I really understood that there was a lot to being able to serve other people, to help them move forward in their lives, to help them figure out some things that maybe they were right on the brink of figuring out, but they needed some support in going forward with that. And so I was probably in my late teens when I knew specifically that I wanted to be a counselor and a therapist.
Awesome. How about you, Chelsea?
Yeah, so it was one of those things where I kind of always knew I wanted to work with helping people. So that was kind of my driving force. And then I had my first psychology class in high school, and I just felt sorry, my phone just started ringing. I don't know if that messed everything up. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. So I just fell in love with it, and yeah, the interest of helping people and just learning more about how people interact with each other and why they do the things they do, I find it so interesting. And then so able to tie that in with helping people, it seemed like the right fit for me.
Very cool. So, the next thing I want to know is what's one thing that you would want everyone to know about therapy? What would you say, Cam?
I think that it can be a place where it can feel really vulnerable. But I know that all of the counselors at LifeSpring are ready to hold you in a non-judgmental space. So, don't be afraid. It can get deep and it doesn't always feel comfortable, but sometimes that's what we need to learn more about ourselves and grow.
Yes, that's very true. How about you, Anlin? One thing that you would want everyone to know about therapy?
Well, that it can be a safe and comfortable place for you to be able to relax and exhale and work with us to um, discover what sorts of things are causing blocks in your life, what sorts of things would enhance your life, and that it's not a really scary thing in a lot of cases, but some people think so, particularly if they've never had therapy before. So we're here to help you and make you feel comfortable, to support you through the journey, whether it is a quicker journey because that's the type person you are, you want to move forward faster, or whether it's a long-term journey. We're here for you.
So, two perspectives can be deep and vulnerable, and it can be something that lets us exhale and enhance life. How about you, Chelsea?
Yeah, I think my answer is kind of the combination of the two, that it's not always, so scary, and it's not always you coming in and you're doing really hard work, which, yes, that happens, but also like it can be fun and relaxing, and it's a time to really be introspective and to think more about problems more clearly by just talking them out sometimes.
Yes, love those perspectives. So, I want to know, we've done client surveys recently where clients have given feedback and shared some things that they see about each of you. So, what I want to know is what 3 words would your clients use to describe you? I want those 3 words only. Cam.
Understanding, non-judgmental, and open.
Okay. Anlin, what are the 3 words your clients would use to describe you?
Supportive, non-judgmental, and patient.
Okay. Chelsea.
Supportive, empathetic, and good at listening.
Okay. And so every therapist is different. Every therapist has their own personality, their own interventions that they like to use. They just show up differently because we're different people. So, what kind of people do you love working with? When you think about, oh, I just do some of my best work with these people, who are they? Cam.
I love working with people who are ready to come in and just engage in the process and who are really open to it. You don't have to be ready to dive right in session one. I know, especially if it's a first session, it can be really intimidating, but I'm just really interested in working with anyone who feels, invested in the process of wanting to learn more about themselves and is interested in exploring and being really curious about what's going on so we can kind of work together to find out what might help you move forward.
Awesome. Anlin, who do you love working with?
Well, I love working with people who come to therapy with a positive purpose. They may not necessarily know exactly what we're going to be diving into, but they're willing to try, they're open minded, and they want positive results.
Yes. All right. Chelsea, how about you?
Yeah, I think my perfect client would be someone that's coming in ready for therapy, ready to start with that introspection, ready to have those tough conversations and to look forward. Someone that is open-minded and ready to kind of really dig deep to some of the hard things, but also not afraid to kind of laugh at themselves and have kind of fun with it.
Awesome. Okay. So, here's what we want to know. Every therapist has their own style. There are things that we do that are similar, but there are also things that we do that might be a little bit different, right? So for someone who's never, ever, ever been to therapy, or maybe they have been to therapy before, but they were working with a provider who had a very specific approach to therapy, the way that you work might not be the way that someone else works. So I want to know, what does a typical session with you look like? Cam.
Yeah, so I think to start in our sessions, we might open up to just see how things have gone since our last session, if we worked together before, and if we haven't worked together before, I want to get to know you, kind of start to build that therapeutic relationship from a person-centered approach. And then I'll sometimes ask clients, where do you want to start today? Where do you want to go? So I think my clients might, want to be ready with what they want to bring into therapy so we can start there and work on it together. And we'll probably work on what's at the, top of your mind for that session, whether it's something that happened yesterday or, 10 years ago, to see if we need to process that. And we'll go from there.
Thanks, Cam. How about you, Anlin? What does a session with you look like?
So with each client, I always meet them where they are in the process. And more importantly, I am very anxious to develop a sense of rapport with them, because that's really where the good work can be accomplished, when clients feel comfortable and safe with me and understand that I am here to serve them. And other than that, I pretty much take the lead from them. It's where they want to go, it's how they want the session to go. Some clients are more extroverted, some more introverted, some move faster, some move slower. I can keep that pace, whatever it happens to be, and we will go on our journey together.
Great. How about you, Chelsea?
Yeah, so I love starting sessions with a lot of rapport building, a lot of getting to know the client, getting to know how they work, them getting to kind of get a sense of who I am as well. Yeah, and someone that's open. Um, and then typically, yeah, we, again, with what Annalyn said, like meet them where they are and discuss what needs to be discussed, help them through that journey, help them through what's going through their lives at the moment, and anything that they need to unpack, anything from the past. I love kind of working with stuff like that, so that's kind of always my favorite approach.
Okay. So, sometimes at LifeSpring, we have people who are very eager to see results, right? Therapy is an investment of someone's time, energy, and resources. And so people want to know that if I'm spending my time, my energy, my money, my insurance on therapy, I want to know that it's working. So, my question for you is, how do you and your clients measure progress in therapy? Cam.
Yeah, so for our first sessions, one of the questions I'll ask you is, what are your goals for therapy? And, we'll use those goals to come up with your treatment plan. And once every few months, we'll check in on that treatment plan, whether it's through, a questionnaire or, just talking through them. What goals do you think you have accomplished? What do you still want to work on? What do you think will change? I like that to be a consistent conversation in our therapy. So we make sure that it's meeting your needs, because it's your session. So I definitely want to make sure that it's working for you.
Great. Anlin, how do you and your clients measure progress?
So there is a process, and it begins with the intake session, which is the first session. And that's a time that the client tells me what they've come to therapy for, what goals they're interested in achieving, and what the problems or issues are. And that gives us the beginning of a template that we can then work on. And throughout the sessions, we talk about those things, and we work on maybe one thing, maybe two or three things at the same time. And then after a period of 3 months, there's a treatment plan. And we set goals for what we want to continue to work on. Sometimes our goals change, and they certainly can. And if that's the case, then the goals are different than initially started with the client.
All right. How about you, Chelsea? How do you and your clients measure progress?
Yeah, so it definitely starts at intake, where I ask them what brings them in. Why are they here? Why do they feel the need to start now? And then what they want to be working on, and what that looks like when they reach that goal, and how that would feel for them. And I like to be very collaborative in that whole process. So I will talk to them about, what goals do you want to meet? How should we get there? And then what would it feel like when we are there? And then what do we do after that?